Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court immediately.
1, 2, 3, 42.
So Jen, so the party was wonderful. You flew in from Costa Rica. You cut your vacation short, which was super cool.
But actually, first I should say, hello everyone. I'm Tom Smith, producer of Rule 42. And Jen, you cut your vacation short in Costa Rica to come to the amazing party that Audrey threw for her daughter Aubrey.
Yes, I actually flew in that morning. I landed at 5:00 in the morning and then came home. Took my son to a basketball
party
game
without other mom. Come on.
Yeah, no, but I did my mom thing. I took Jax to his basketball game and then I crashed for a while on the couch until it was time to get ready for the party, and then I headed over. So
And she looked amazing.
And the party was great. Everyone looked wonderful.
So much fun.
It was super cool. But unfortunately, while you're in Costa Rica, you missed the taping with our guest, and Audrey can talk about our guest now because this is a great interview.
Oh my God, it really was. And I actually brought you up. We had Maggie Viola on, and she is amazing. The interview turned into the potential for 5 more because she just had that energy that just reminded me so much of you and so much of us. And it was actually, so once you get to know more about Maggie and know more about what she is and what she's about and her journey through the corporate world and then going into like more about healing, and see, she's so much so much a part of like what Jen is and what Jen brings to the world. So of course, once the interview was done, we ended up talking about having to interview with you again.
Yes.
So she's going to have to come back when you're here. And then we started talking about
no spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
No
But-
spoilers.
Well,
What?
apparently
Road trips are occurring.
we're
Occurring.
planning a big road trip. So people enjoy this. This is Maggie Viola, and this is going to be a great interview. Rule 42 podcast.
I am so excited.
1, 2, 3, 42.
You live in Florida. Me too.
Yeah, we're like neighbors. I'm right in Fort Lauderdale.
I am always in Fort Lauderdale.
No way.
I like the Hard Rock. Love that guitar there.
Nice.
They're right
Yeah, I
there.
see the lights from my house.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So like all visitors who come here, because like we're usually doing something kooky, and they're like, oh, do you see the lights in the sky? I'm like, yeah, they're coming.
Well, wasn't there this whole like thing where like somewhere in Miami there were like 75 cop cars and aliens were coming? So my daughter's a cheerleader and she's competing in Orlando this weekend. And I actually bought little blue lights that go on your fingertips.
Oh, fun.
And I'm gonna pass them out to all the parents so we can walk around like the aliens are coming, man.
Yeah.
See how many cop cars we could get over there.
That's so funny. Yeah, that was like a thing.
Yes.
10-foot creatures at the mall.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jump off.
There.
I'm gonna jump off and shut up and let you guys go at it. I'll just stand here and try to look pretty while you guys do your talking. All right?
Pose for us.
No, I'm not gonna pose. I'm
So pretty.
Look at that. But have at it. And,
That is awesome.
Don't we look alike?
yeah, right. You look a lot better than I do. Yeah, you look a lot better. And Maggie has twin boys too.
I wanted twins so bad. I had six separate pregnancies.
Wow. Just to have twins?
I wanted twins. I wanted them so bad. How are they? Are they amazing?
So you 6 pregnancies. How many kids is that?
6.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, you're halfway to me.
Amazing.
And you got 2 in one shot.
Yeah, that was a good deal.
Yeah, I tried. I tried so hard. They
Well,
left in my
good.
family.
Great.
No, I didn't. I had to do it 6 times just to have 6.
I give you a lot of props. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you are like a spring chicken. Kudos to you.
You know
Really.
what? It's that life journey stuff. It's that like you get to that 40 mark in your life and you're like, what is happening? I blinked. I was just a baby. I was like in school like a year ago. No. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Though, when you start saying 20 years ago, I think then it's another chapter. It's like a whole other category, like the card or something. You know how there's like the AARP and like the pre-AARP. My partner just got his pre-AARP card at 55. He's like, I get some serious discounts right now.
IHOP has some great ones, 55 and older. They got their own menu and everything.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So I like the idea of the like when you're able to say 20 years ago, which I think you're right. I think starts around in your 40s, like, you know.
I just turned 40.
So new chapter and some cred, like you get some cred for that.
You would think so.
Yeah.
I'm just taking my credit.
Let's just take it. Let's just do it. I do this party cred thing.
We are. So we have to go back to this soulpreneur.
Yeah.
What is this? I love it.
Yeah, the Soulpreneur's journey. It's I would call it like a body of work that I created back in 2015. So what that's like we're 2024. So
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, like 9 years ago. And basically I work with like visionary entrepreneurs, people who are like kind of ready to create from the seat of their soul, who are mission driven, passion driven, like want to make an impact that, you know, raises the vibration of humanity. Like it's not all about the money, although, you know, we know money comes anyway, you know, it's just currency. So like it's people who understand that there's additional currencies that are
Beyond monetary.
Yeah. So my background is in brand development and marketing. So I'm like a former ad agency owner.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like I retired from the ad agency world, which is really intense, back in 2015. And I was like, okay, so what am I, you know, what's my soulpreneur journey? Like, what am I here for? What do I want to do? How do I want to make an impact? So,
were you a mother at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
My boys are going to be 21.
Oh my God, get out.
Yeah. That's that
You do not look old enough to have a 21-year-old. No. And then there's two of them.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you certainly don't look like you have 6 kids. That's like for certain. So like I usually get the twin thing, like you can't be the mother of 21 shows, but you get the like you have 6 kids. Like how do you have 6 kids? You look like you're 20.
Oh, thank you.
So for those who are only listening and not like watch, you should totally tap in and watch because like I'll toot. We'll pull the card. 2 phenomenal 40-something-year-old women with like some serious cred here.
and we're taking it. We are owning that cred and taking it in.
Well, as a serial intuitive entrepreneur, which I just made up, I would say that we should create a card or something.
Oh my God.
Or a club or something.
A card that follows with a club. Our club will provide cards for those women going through that journey and that need that cred. We will take ours, but we have no problem giving you yours.
Right.
I like it. Like, look at us. We're just already coming up with new business ideas. We've gotten into one.
Oracle cards or something.
Oh my God, yes. We can change the font so that, you know, you don't have to go like this.
Right.
Big letters. I was not prepared. But I remember being a kid and looking, like watching people old, and I would be like, why would you need to put something further from your face to see it? How
It's an interesting concept.
It's not a concept. It's real. Things are blurry when you put them close. I'm getting there.
I haven't done the blur yet. I haven't done blur, and I'm working on. I'm actually like very tapped into not like the no blur. I'm like no blur for me. It's not happening. I'm not taking the no blur thing in. I had a friend who she's 7 years older than me, and she's like one of my closest friends growing up, and we're still friends. And she hit 40 before I did, and she's like, "Oh, girl, for 40, like, yeah, you start losing your hair, and
Oh my God.
it don't work the same, and you got to get lube, and like, you know, all this stuff." And she's like, and actually, it was a gift that she started telling me these things, because I started like, okay, that's not happening to me. It's not happening to me. So I started like doing all this meditation about it.
Preventative measures. You know, that's when you go to do things like facials, they always tell you it's so much easier to prevent than it is to treat. So you are taking the proper measures moving forward.
I like this. Yeah. So the Soulpreneur's journey is like, it's my body of work. It's kind of like woven through everything that I do. So I do it for myself, and I do it for others, and people spend time with me in various ways to work on their soulpreneurship. Typically, like, they'll come and spend like a week with me.
Okay.
Like, we'll just
Like they stay with you?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they'll stay with me, and we'll get really deep, you know? Like, so it's kind of a combination between like, you know, like personal spiritual development, but like business development too. So there's like a lot of methodology that comes through, and we actually create things like, you know, like plans and like executional things and action plans and all that. So it's a really unique, cool, wild experience, and it's definitely for a certain someone who like is in alignment with that.
Yeah.
So like when you're like, what do you mean I stay with you? It's usually someone that I know in some way.
Yes.
Oh, or you know, someone else referred to me that they know.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine you would have to feel comfortable staying with them as well. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just blindly trust everybody.
Yeah, like I have to feel comfortable even just giving them this juice, right? Like, because it's like kind of like a superpower. Like, you know, you give them this superpower of this journey, and then they actually will have like a tremendous influence in the world. So you can't give it to the villains, right?
No.
So you gotta like, you know, have a filter for that, which is kind of part of the whole thing, is having that filter.
That's amazing having that. And this is what you went into after doing advertising.
Yeah. Because, you know, like, so I was working with like big companies. Like, we had an incredible client list, like Sony, Black & Decker, Bosch, like,
Yeah,
big.
that's awesome. Bosch.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for helping me
On your journey.
yes. But what I was realizing was like, oh wow, like, so I actually like, I'm like really good at what I do, and like, so I can do this on a large scale with like very influential projects. And where I found there was a disconnect between like the people who are driving the projects and the intentions versus like what I knew was like in the best interest, right, of like the brand or the consumer or the project. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to infuse the work of developing a brand or a project or campaign. I'm going to do it with heart, with soul, like with real purpose. And so the combination of those two things have been great. And I've worked with like some really incredible entrepreneurs, like people who are in the medical space, like healing arts, alternative medical space, like who are bringing, you know, these incredible things to the marketplace.
Oh, I'm so sad my partner's out here today. She's actually on a plane going to Costa Rica because she is into, she does facials, she does Reiki. She's very spiritual based and like very energy driven. And she's actually on a journey herself. That's why part of why she's going to Costa Rica.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm so sad that she's not getting to meet you.
Well, another time for sure. And since
Definitely.
is she local also? Is she in Florida or?
No, she's in Connecticut, but she is like my best friend. So she does come down here. We've actually done the show together, sitting right next to each other. That was a mission. We were like rigging stuff.
Fun.
We set up for one person right now, so here. But she would have totally loved, absolutely. Like, I'm all about the energy too. Like, I actually eliminate people from my life because I feel like they're taking my energy. And I feel all of that stuff around me, and I just don't want to. So if you're bringing me down or you're pulling me away from something, I just kind of have to like be strong enough to let that go, because you can't just take on everybody.
Right on.
It's an easy way to get dragged down.
Right on.
So I'm loving that you have a nickname where you are dubbed like a good witch,
Yeah.
a modern day good witch.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. My youngest son's father, his mother was actually called the White Witch when he was growing up, and I only knew about this at our daughter's baptism because one of the older people in their lives came over, and she's like, "Dude, do you know about his father or his mother?" I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" Well, she was a witch. Okay. Well, how? She could give you any number and you would win. She would just feel the numbers coming in and tell you, you gotta play these numbers. She was actually banned from giving people numbers. If someone saw her giving someone numbers, they did not take that bet from them. Not happening, because she was that good. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Oh,
Bring it in.
that is the kind of witch you want in your life.
Well, she's unfortunately passed away, so I didn't get a chance to meet her. But now there's a modern day good witch. So tell me, what's this about?
So I'm definitely I would say like two sides of the coin. Like, so I'm super grounded. Like, you know, if anybody knows astrology, I'm a Capricorn moon. So yeah, awesome. So happy birthday. You just had a birthday, or you're
Same to you. I did just have a birthday.
so that's
I literally just turned 40.
super happy birthday. Well, so my moon is Capricorn, which means my birthday is not Capricorn. That's your sun. So
Uh-huh.
sun is Cancer. So I'm June, but my moon is Capricorn. So you know,
Does it copy the traits? The same traits as the sun?
as the sun.
Yeah.
No. So your sun is like your inherent like traits, like what you're born into, kind of what your foundational energies are like. You know, it connects to a certain sign. So you're Capricorn, you're an Earth.
Okay.
So you're like,
That explains a lot.
yeah, you're grounded, and we can like, I can go into this with you.
I actually have this thing. I like to take my shoes off and my socks off, and I walk around in grass. And it has to be good grass. Good grass. And I just feel it. Like it's freeing.
Totally. Yeah. So you're like, you know, you've got good roots, you know, you're sound, you know. And Capricorns are typically you know, great currency manifestors. So like, you're a money woman, you know, like you've got a lot in your space.
Tommy's like, yeah.
Audrey is definitely a money woman. You should ask about her cars, Maggie. She's got a car collection.
I actually have a car obsession. So yes, vroom vroom. And it's so funny because people think that because I like cars, that means I know a lot about cars. I don't know the slightest thing about them. I know what they sound like. I know what they make me feel. That's all that matters to me. I don't need to look at the price tag. I I just want to, if you rev that engine and something purrs in me, I want to drive you.
I love that.
So I do have a collection.
All right. Well, what's your favorite car that you got in your collection?
Oh, it's so hard. Well, right now in Miami, I only have like the car that's here is the one that I like to drive here. Like I feel like it's a Miami car, so it is my Corvette, my Stingray, my baby, which is also in Miami blue.
Neat. Amazing.
Yeah, but at home because Connecticut's so cold. I love my Range Rover. That's my baby. That is definitely my mommy car. That is like I can be a mommy and still rock this shit. Don't
Yeah,
mess with me.
you gotta love a woman who her mommy car is a Range Rover.
Oh my God, that is totally. Yes, I love that is my baby. I love that car. Someone actually stole it.
What?
Yes,
And you got it back?
yes.
Wow.
But still, it feels so violated. They violated my baby.
Gosh, I can't believe you got it back.
Yeah, yeah. But that's just 2 of like 6 cars.
Wow. Do you have any classics?
No.
Do you like classics?
No. I've tried them. But I also belong to a car club down here. So like I'll try out a lot of random cars. And I tried out a Rolls Royce Phantom. I believe that's what they were called. It's like driving a boat,
Yeah.
which I've never driven. So I don't even know if that's how a boat would drive. But the feeling was as though every wheel was on its own axis and it was just the tires were going all on their own. So you were turning, but it's like, am I turning? Am I taking a circle? What's happening right now? They had to come and pick the car up after 2 hours. I was like, I can't drive this.
Oh my God.
I can't do this. This is like too heavy. So I feel like the older cars would be like that too. Like those muscle cars. I'm a little scared.
We have right here on US 1 in Fort Lauderdale, there's a classic car, kind of like, I guess it's a storage, like, storage car, but it's all glass windows. So every light, you can see what's in there. And today, so I love it because I love classic cars. And they had I don't know what year it was, but it looked pretty 70s vibe Maserati. It was so sexy. It was, it was just super duper hot. Yeah. And I was like, I need that car. Like that should be my Sunday car.
Okay. So maybe I do like there is a classic out there that I want that I'm just like gimme, but it's kind of like so far the Aston Martin, the like Aston Martin, like 007.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know it's so sexy.
I don't even need Bond outside of it. I'll do it myself.
Right.
I could dress in that suit and get it off. I got this.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense that you're into cars, you're a money chick. Yeah. You're a Capricorn.
I am.
You like things, like you like to actually like touch and feel things. Like you're like a real, like you're a 3D kind of person. You like, reality.
No, I do. Yes. I feel like that's important though.
It is. It's very important because so like for me, okay, so that's my moon, cool. But my partner is a Capricorn. So I'm like, all right, this really works because you can be the jar and I'm the Cancer water. So as long as you have the jar and I can fill it, we're good.
That is amazing. That's balance.
Yeah.
And bringing balance up, how do you figure it out? Because I know that it's not just the one business that you do. You're in a few different places in your life on top of being a mother with 3 kids. So like, how are you balancing all of that? Because let me tell you, it's hard.
Yeah. I don't know really how to answer that. I think that I'm pretty easygoing about things in general. Like I'm intense like super intense, but I'm pretty easygoing. And I think that I always put people first, like I always look for like what's the emotion of something. I'm a very like emotionally driven person. So even in the intensity of business, I'm still emotionally driven. So that comes in play with my kids too. Like, what do you need? Like not what does everybody else say you need, or like the book I read say you need, or the podcast.
No, you
mom says you need, like, but what?
it's their child. You have that connection with them. You feel and see. I mean, they're in your bodies.
Yeah, we know them. We got
And
this.
not everyone is the same, which means that not every situation is treated the same. Not every child is handled the same. And I'm getting so much slack right now. Because I do have 6 kids, but I'm only here with 1.
Okay.
But at that point in her life, that was who I needed to focus on. I needed to do what she needed from me.
Exactly.
But not everyone agrees. And that's okay. They don't have to agree with my decisions. I mean, I would wish they would stop judging me. But to see my daughter now from where she was even 6 months ago, I have my daughter back. Like, it's my girl. Like, that's my girl. That's that confident, strong woman that I've been trying to raise so hard that I was watching just like lose herself. And now I'm watching her blossom and re-find herself. And it's amazing. And, this is where I needed to be. Now I feel like she's in a much better place and I can kind of figure out how to start getting closer to the rest of them again. But yeah, I get it. Like you just have to face each situation based off of like kind of what's going on with them, what's going on in your world, and making sure it all balances out so that everybody's okay.
Yeah. I think you and I are definitely same paging on that. Just not, like you said, just intuitively knowing where you need to be and who you need to be with, and like, what they need. And it's not your attention and presence all the time, but it might be like in your case, like a period of time that they need you intensely, and then the other one needs space, needs admiration, and the other one needs quiet time, and and so I think just as a mom entrepreneur, just a mom, like it doesn't matter what you do for a living, I think, or just a human being, really.
Yes.
Like just being tapped into the good of the whole. And when you're raising a family, like, the container is your home. It's your family. It's your immediate family. So if you can do that in your family, then you can do that in your business too, and so I think that since I had the kids, 21 years ago, I think I never changed my life, like I was never like, oh, now I'm a mom, I have to do it this way, or I can't do this, or it was like, okay, how are we going to do this? Like, how is this going to be a we game? So like, I would take my kids places, and like, they came up with me, we still grow together, we still do things together or don't do things together, but we're still so involved in each other's well-being, I guess you could say, like I remember
invested in each other.
Yeah, like I remember growing up, like we didn't talk about my dad's job, like that was an off-limit topic, none of your business. And now like I'll come to the table and be like, man, I got this situation, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think this person needs? Or like, why do you think they're acting like that? And they're like, well, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're probably right, like, cool, let me try that, like it's such a collaborative thing.
It's such a different perspective.
Yeah,
it is. So it's a different generation seeing things in a different way that maybe we just forget to see it. And unfortunately, I didn't start off like that. I changed my whole life when I started having my kids. I thought I had to be something else. I thought I had to be better. I actually was in a really dark place when I got pregnant with my first one, and had to change a lot of what was going on at the time in my life. She may have actually saved me. But I think I lost myself in the process of I forgot about me and just became a mom. And everything from there on I was just driven by, like, you're a mother, you can't stop. You're a mother, you can't take a break. You're a mom, you can't. But, like, as a person, as a human being, yeah, I need a break. Yeah, mom needs to sleep more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yet mommy cannot be the one doing everything that you need. Like, eventually, you're going to have to wake up and make your own breakfast because you're 17.
Yeah.
And mom's answering emails at 5 o'clock in the morning and you need to pitch in.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to get to the point where I realized just because I want them to help balance the home doesn't mean that I'm requesting more of them than they can give.
Right.
Like, I'm not asking them to not be children or to grow up, and I'm just asking them to be more involved in balancing our home and helping.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't know why I thought that meant that I would be a bad mom.
Well, probably because, just like most of us, the conditioning, growing up and generationally, is that a good mom does everything for you,
Yes.
And then
The dads had their role, the moms had theirs, and we were told to shut up and you speak when spoken to.
yeah, and like, you've got to hold your kid's hand through everything, because God forbid they fall, or God forbid they need to figure something out, or that makes you not responsible. I mean, I totally went through that too, like, coming up into my own entrepreneurship. I mean, like, being an entrepreneur, or just being a working woman in general, being a single mom at times and stuff, like, you can be like tightrope walking sometimes. You're like, okay, I know there's a pot of gold on the other side, but I have to walk across this rope to get there. And it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of courage. And sometimes the people around us, especially like those, who are, maybe have of a different generation, consider that irresponsible versus like courageous, and it's not until you're on the other side, they're like, oh,
Yes.
oh, wow, look at you now. And you're like, yeah. So, like, that's what I'm teaching my kids, is like, yes, walk across the tightrope. You might fall, but you're gonna, you can recover from some broken bones or a bruise, like, you can.
It won't be the end of the world.
Yeah.
You pick yourself up and you keep going.
Yeah. I'm just not up for like regular, like, I'm not up for basic. I'm not up for mediocre. And in order to, push through that threshold, you gotta take some risk. And I think that's, it sounds like what you're showing your kids, like what I'm showing my kids, is like, if you want something, go get it, and I'm
gonna have to make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. Desire. I got my own shit, I got my own stuff. I remind my kids all the time, like, I had you at 21. I was your age. Like, how do you think? Like, what would you do?
Yeah. Now this is your journey. I'm on my journey. You're on your journey.
Yeah.
Now, talking about taking risks, I want to take the risk and go into risque.
Oh, okay.
What is this thing in Sicily about?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I did a workshop in Sicily called Sacred Sensuality.
Okay. Tommy's face just like lit up, like his eyes got bigger, and I was like, what happened?
No.
Yeah. Well, this is a facet, definitely a facet of soulpreneurship. And one of the facets that I have recently, in like the last 2 years or so, been bringing forth on its own, because it seems like sometimes when I have a soulpreneur come and spend time with me and we're working on their business, it goes to the personal side of things, right? Not with me, but like in their personal.
Yeah.
So, you know, healing the heart and working on the heart is a foundational piece of being able to connect to your creative intelligence and your genius to be able to use your mind most efficiently. So the practices of sacred sensuality are not what you see on like Instagram with like, you know, half naked chicks, like rubbing their tits in your face and like all of that, you know, and like giving you hand jobs in the back room. That's not at all what I'm, you know, into or teaching. Although, you know, there's a place for everything.
Hey, what is that phrase that people use? Don't yuck another person's yum.
No, definitely not. It's just not what it is to me and the way I'm bringing that forward into the world. So for me, it's tapping into your creative genius, really. And so you've probably heard of Tantra.
Yeah.
Is the ancient practice of sacred sensuality. So I actually take things back another 2,000 years.
Ooh.
And so we go to like ancient Egyptian times. And so in the ancient Egyptian times, which is like 2,000 years before the practice of Tantra was like created in India, it was a way of living. It was a way of being. So sensuality, like if you've heard of like the goddess Hathor, right? Like she was like the goddess of sensuality and motherhood,
Yes.
music, and like, you know, so like it was a way of living, you know, it was weaving your sensuality, your life force energy, like we know it, a lot of people say like Kundalini, you know, like so that concept of the coiled snake that runs up the spine, you know, like this is an ancient technology that when activated through like codes and doing certain things and rituals, and that's what, you know, part of the witchy thing, you know, you can reach, you know, heights within yourself, like dimensional heights within yourself, to see things, hear things, feel things that you don't feel here as a human in the human skin in the 3D world. So so the practice of sacred sensuality is so essential for this expanded view of what's possible, you know, and being able to reach
Potential.
Yeah, just like your potential, but reach, like, you know, I mean, if you're a visionary entrepreneur who wants to make impact, it's typically not just like in your town, right? Like,
No, I mean, you want to.
yeah, totally. Like, we're a global world. You know, like there's no more like, you know, I have a local business. You know, it's actually galactic. Like we're like you said, like you know, they're on spring break already. You know, we got to be thinking on that level, that galactic level of impact. So if we're gonna make an impact on a galactic level like that, we'll dial it back to worldly, fine. You know, like we've got to be creating and thinking on that level. So, you know, it's an access point, you know, so that's the sacred sensuality teachings. And I had the great pleasure of being invited to a sanctuary in Sicily, in Catania, Sicily, called Giganza. Big shout out to Gaetano at Giganza, who invited me, who's also got a brilliant, beautiful body of work himself. And he invited me to share these teachings with his community. And it was epic, you know, it was like epic. I have chills even just like it, because I mean, it was just such a gift to me to be able to share at that level, you know? So yeah, so that's, you know,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And be able to like impact people in that way, like it's just such a positive kind of like light to bring into the world and to kind of like put in like that manifestation of what we really need. Because innately, we've just forgotten how to be people, like human. We've forgotten about the morality, and that, you know, everything we do affects everybody around us, not just the immediate people. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, everything, Jeff. Yeah, everything counts. That's what you know. Carolyn Messes. She's an author. She's written a lot of great. She's a medical medium,
No.
intuitive medium. Anyway, Carolyn Mess. She's always is preaching like everything counts. Like everything.
Yes.
Every count, every thought, every word, every gesture, every emotion. Like it all counts. So like make it. Make it awesome.
Wouldn't matter. Make it you. Why walk around just putting out all of the negative stuff? Like we all go through so many things in our lives that could tear us down and make us victims, and you get stuck in that space where you think everything's like going wrong because of you. And but it's because you're putting so much negativity out there. Like who wants that? But you put that good. I mean, I have some crazy videos. Just I like to explore the world, and I actually have a lot of anxiety when it comes to crowds and stuff, so I stay away from them, but I will engage in some way. And I've got video of like dancing to live music in the middle of nowhere with people I don't know. Well, they're away from me, but I don't know them. And all of a sudden, this like group of just like me and my friend becomes like a group of 15 people dancing together and laughing. And we don't know the song. We don't know each other. But for that moment, our lives were so full of joy. And for no other reason than like we lived in that moment. So that's just, we need to fill the world with more of that.
Yeah. You're so right. And as you were even just saying that, listening to you express that moment, like telling a story is it. You made me feel the joy. So like going back to the ancient traditions of storytelling, even and like recounting, the joyous times. Like we need to bring these traditions back, and this is part of what witches did. Like we sat around fires, and we still do. We sat around fires and we tell stories, and we like dancing all together. We do that too. Like,
it brings in an energy that's just like, oh, yes, I want to feel this way all of the time.
Yeah, and I think it's like, so stripping away the fear and the shame that comes along with that. And we're just, that I think that's the mission, is like, okay, let's eradicate the fear and the shame that comes with joy. Yeah. And that can be in so many ways: joy of prosperity, joy of sexuality, joy of, togetherness, joy of wildness, like anything. Like who's to say what kind of joy someone can have, and what is joy and what's not joy? Like
no one.
Hey,
we are no one to judge each other. We just need to help build each other.
Amen. Yeah. Yes, we do. So I like to do things like on that level of joy, like big. I like big things.
I'm all about big. I'm all about extra. There are very few things I do in my life that are not extra.
Awesome. So you said you're a traveler. Have you been to Egypt before?
I was supposed to go recently. I was in Japan, China, Singapore, and then we were supposed to go to Egypt from there, and the war broke out.
Yeah.
And they were like, escape. So I actually, we were supposed to fly from Singapore to Egypt that day, and there were bombings going on pretty close by. And we changed that trip to Bali. So I have not been to Egypt, but I heard you have.
I have. Yeah. And I asked you that because, you like big things too. And like, so there is like big, it's like things are being in Texas, but, like where like everything's massive, like everything from the monuments to like, just the sand dunes and energy, but like the energy, it's massive. It's like being plugged into a socket of like light energy and just
get out of here.
Where
I need to find this place in Egypt that you were talking about where you're going.
Well, there's several. Yeah, there's several. So it's just a really interesting and magical place. I highly
But I need magical.
yeah. And it's intense. It's not like it's not like gentle. You know?
I don't like gentle.
Yeah.
I'm beyond gentle. I'm a big girl now. I need
Yeah.
it.
I mean, you had 6 kids, you can do it. You're ready.
I'm like veteran. I got this. Army.
Right.
So I have plans.
Right. Yeah.
No, I was in the army. That's what
Oh,
prepared me for my army.
wow. Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for that.
Oh,
thank
thank
you
you.
for serving us.
Thank you.
Really. And being such a warrior goddess. Thank you.
I'm trying.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I put out what I was always told it's so important to treat people the way you want to be treated. And I tried to instill that in my kids. So like I still hold that true. So I try to put out what I would want in my life, and that's just positive energy and just positive like vibes, and let's build, I got you. So I would love to be able to talk to you again, especially with my partner. Like, oh my God. I think that once we get her on here and the 3 of us are together and we just look at Tommy every now and then,
Hey there.
we're going to end up on vacation in Egypt for
Love.
at least a week.
I
So
love it.
you just come up with a game plan in terms of like where we're going to touch in Egypt in a week, on that week. And it was such a pleasure to meet you.
Wow. That's so nice. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you too. And I'm like honored. Now we've got like a part 2 coming.
Yes. As long as you're good with that.
I'm so good with that. And we
have to make this happen. There are so many things that like I didn't even get near with, like, but you just like, it's so awesome talking to you. I'm like, I need to know all of this. Like I can't stop because I need every little piece to come in.
I love that.
I love your energy.
I love your energy too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Tommy, your turn.
No, we're good. We'll wrap there. Maggie, thank you. Awesome.
1, 2, 3, 42.
How exciting that we're going to Egypt.
I cannot wait. I'm excited. We're gonna knock Tommy out and get him on the plane.
Oh,
Yes. We've discussed our need for some like paperwork and how freaking awesome is Maggie.
So what a cool life. She's doing so many cool things, right?
I just heard, and I think it's amazing all the stuff that she's doing. Egypt, Italy, she's all over the world, and she's doing different retreats. I
Helping
can't wait to
people,
talk to her. I
healing.
can't wait to talk to her and find out more.
I know we have like 5 episodes lined up.
Audrey, you said Jen, and you're like, Jen's gonna love you. So it's too bad she wasn't here because Jen was in Costa Rica, as we said at the top of the show. But yeah, you'll love to meet her. She's really cool. Got a lot of really cool things going on.
And meet her, we're like, and travel with her and enjoy what it is that she's going to show us, and maybe we'll be able to teach her some stuff and we'll all learn from each other. But getting Tommy on the plane,
Oh Jesus, here we go.
that's
We're
going to be
I hate flying. You guys got to drug me up really, really.
We're
Well,
gonna
we're gonna-
weekend at Bernie's you.
we are now
That'll
we're
work.
also going to have to learn about dynamic angles because we're going to have to become the camera crew.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you got. We'll show you.
We'll just throw GoPros all over Tommy, and as we wheel him around, he'll get different angles of
We'll
us.
make sure to fly on Emirates. So like Tommy will have like a nice bed. It'll be like they put like a nice little mattress out on the seat. It'll lay flat. We can feed you if you need us to.
Wait a minute.
Nom.
So that's right. You flew Emirates. Now that's you
Yes.
get like a little room, right? How
Yes.
crazy is that?
Well, so it depends on which level you fly in. But if you fly first class, in their suites, then yeah, there's a shower.
Oh,
You
that's
get
amazing.
so you have the seat, and the seat fully reclines, and it is private, like you can close your door. But they also come by with these like seat-sized mattresses that
Whoa.
lay down on it to add cushion, like you're laying on a mattress, and you have your awesome blanket and your sleep mask and your socks and your pajamas that they give you. And it's just amazing with the pillow, and they have amazing food. I mean, Tommy, I really don't even know if you need to be knocked out for this. It
Really?
doesn't feel like a flight. Like you go, there's a lounge.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
Really?
obviously, like you have to be sitting down when it takes off and like when you're
Sure.
landing. But once you're up, like you can go into the lounge and have a drink. There's a bartender. You can have a snack. Obviously, the people will bring you food. There's a chef on the plane. If the chef actually sent something over, because I think I was when we flew, I don't know what happened that day, but I did not sleep. I was up the entire flight and was just all over the place, super like hyped up and like eating the entire time. It got to the point where they started just bringing me stuff from the chef.
Well, I should say though, and just the few times we've gone out socially together, everybody loves Audrey because Audrey takes care of all the workers and all the people. You're kind to people, which is really important, more so than
because I've been there.
Right.
Yeah.
I've totally been where I've been that server. I've been that person that like, you know what, that 20% is amazing, but if you can afford to do more, then yes, thank you. And if you can't, and that's like, that was your evening out and you can't afford to, like, understand that when you can, there are those people that can't. Yeah. And it is a real luxury to go out and have a meal prepared for you and served for you and cleaned up after you. But you really like that bill was hard enough to pay to have that extra stress of having to like worry about the fact that you now have to figure out, all right, shit, now I have to add 20% to this. Maybe they can't afford that. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve to go out. That just means that when you're in a position that you can give more, you give more.
Yep.
So that it balances out. And that's what it's about. It's about balancing the life and balancing that, like, regardless who's around you or what they're doing for you, everybody brings value. From the person that opens the door, the person that pulls out your seat.
No, and I've watched you, and you're not showy. It's just, you're just kind to these people, and that's awesome. That's really cool.
I try to run away, actually.
No, it's you know what? You get a lot more from people when you're nice to them. Like people actually want to do stuff for you and they want to help you. And like, being nice is important. Just
it goes back to that. Just don't be a dick. Like it's don't be a dick in life, and you'll be all right.
Don't you treat people the way you want to be treated.
If everyone was nice, this world would be a lot easier to live in. Like we could all just be nice to each other. Like it's not that hard to understand. I don't know.
We've actually been put down for radiating too much positivity.
Oh my God. Yeah.
By who? Squidward? Like who doesn't like that?
People. They're like, you're like radiating too much positivity. I'm like, how do you radiate too much positivity?
It's not normal.
Well, someone who radiates positivity is Maggie Viola, and that was an awesome episode with her.
She does. She's amazing, and I can't wait for you to meet her, Jen. Like she has that energy that you're just gonna gravitate to, and we're gonna go to Egypt and have the best time ever.
And she's building a boat, Jen. So they're building a boat in Egypt. I forgot what the name of it was. You'll hear it in the show, but you just heard it.
And we'll figure out a way to get involved in this. There's got to be a way that we can just slide in there and like.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we could do some chakra stuff on the boat or something. We'll do something. We'll be on the boat.
Oh, cool! Excellent episode, guys.
It was. And wait until she finds out about where you are with your Reiki.
Oh, I know. I'm excited to talk to her about all that.
Rule 42. Maggie
Catch
Viola.
us next time. Every time.
See you soon.
1, 2, 3, 42.
Rule 42 is hosted by Audrey Cruz and Jen Burke. It is produced and edited by Tom Smith. The opening song is Rule 42 by Eddie Carr. Rule 42's artwork was created by Aubrey Cruz. And I'm your announcer, Molly Smith. Thank you for listening to Rule 42. We hope you enjoyed the show. New episodes premiere every Thursday on all podcast platforms. Please subscribe, share the show, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple. Today's rule is rule number 2. If you want something, go get it.